Hello, Instagram. Hello, Holy Child. Welcome all of you to our Actions Not Words Day. This is usually a push for annual giving at Holy Child, but this year we are making a change, and it is going to be a day that we use to highlight those in our community who are living out actions, not words. In a couple minutes, I'm going to be talking to Joanna Bailey Howe, who is a member of the class of 1999, and she's going to talk about her involvement in the grassroots movement, Feed the Fight. But today on Instagram, you're going to see us highlight some members of our community, whether that's alumni, current students, faculty, staff, family members, other community members, and their ways of living out actions, not words. So without further ado, let's see if my technological self and as we keep going throughout the day, and you guys think of people in your community who have lived out actions, not words, use the hashtag ANWDay20 so that we can all see the photos. Hey, Joanna, thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Good. Thank you for having me. It's an excuse to put on like real clothes.
Right? Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. Exactly. So you were heavily involved in the sort of beginning process of Feed the Fight here in DC. And that sort of started as like an initiative for you really to just support some local restaurants that you loved. And it's completely taken off. Do you want to tell me a little bit about how that started?
Sure. So one of my, I will not take credit for not my ideas. One of my good friends said she woke up in the middle of the night around 3 a.m. and was trying, had been trying to think of like what we can do to help, and thought that we could have local restaurants send meals to, healthcare workers on the front line. And so she sent out an email the next morning to a group of us saying, can we Venmo her money and help, organize this? So we pretty much started with local restaurants. I reached out to cousins of mine who, were nurses at Hospital Center, my neighbor at Georgetown, other Holy Child friends of mine.
Yes,
and really just started.
Volunteers involved.
Right. It was a very grassroots project where it just started with Venmo and, word of mouth. And we put it on Instagram, and then we got a name.
Right.
Elena's husband came up with a name, and it just really grew from there. It's kind of amazing what the impact of just social media and everyone's desire to help right now. Everyone wants to do something and we can't leave the house. And this is a really good way to be able to keep local restaurants in business while really thanking all of the people on the front lines.
Absolutely. And it seems like your numbers in terms of involvement of restaurants and even hospitals has just taken off.
It has. The first day after, she emailed everyone and said, just Venmo me, $30.
Right.
We delivered 200 meals to Georgetown, or I'm sorry, what was it, like 30 meals to Georgetown and 30 meals to Sibley Hospital, where we just had friends working.
Right. That's great.
And then really very quickly it snowballed. We had a lawyer friend, Shannon Taylor, gave us legal advice. Sarah Canova set up a Instagram account. I mean, it's very funny where friends who just had skills were like, we can do this, we can do that.
Yes.
And so as of last week, we delivered, and this is the fourth week, we've delivered 11,600 meals. We've delivered to pretty much every hospital and clinic in DC, about 30 of them, and about 30 different restaurants we've used.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're that's really living out actions, not words. That's
unbelievable.
It is. Wow.
It is.
So if I am a restaurant and I want to get involved, how can I take those steps? Is there?
So now we have, now we're super official. Everything, we're now a 501c3 through the Greater Washington Foundation. So everything's tax deductible now. So please give. We on our website, feedthefight.org, there is just at the very top a link if you want to start one in your neighborhood or, your area, because people are kind of doing this all over the country now. And you just email Feed the Fight DC and say, I'm a restaurant and we, need some business, and we'll start hooking people up. Right now we're trying to, plan meals for like a week so that restaurants are able to prepare and, the people on the front line know what to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. What has the response been like from people on the front line?
It's been really amazing. I think, nurses and doctors, and I mean, when we feed a team at a hospital, we feed everyone. It's the janitor to the respiratory therapist, to the nurse, to the doctor, to the administrative people. They are just overwhelmed with gratitude. I mean, they are stuck alone on super long shifts. It's not like they can go down to the cafeteria and grab something to eat.
Right.
And they don't have, it sounds weird, like a lot of communication with the outside world.
Yeah.
So the gratitude has just been amazing. We've been having people say, this is the only thing getting me through the day. They're in these COVID units, and knowing that they've got like a good lunch or a really
Absolutely.
good dinner, not just like a janky peanut butter jelly sandwich coming their way,
right.
really has helped a lot. We've been also really encouraging kids and children to get involved with thank you notes and banners. And we would love that if the Holy Child community could, the girls at home could make thank you notes and banners. We're now feeding first responders too. So, the firemen, all of those people, the police. If you could, any sort of thank you note,
Absolutely,
really does go a really long way. It goes a super long way.
Yeah, that's amazing. And can you tell me a little bit more about you mentioned if I wanted to get involved, like if I don't live in the DC area, but I wanted to get involved, or if I wanted to start.
So if you can still donate to us. You can certainly, donate to us. We're looking for, this started with, I think in the first 2 weeks, we had 200 individual donations. So this is very much lots of people giving small amounts. Now we're getting bigger amounts. Sassy Jacobs, who is the mother of Lucy at Holy Child's mother, is involved too. And she has had, Washington Fine Properties sponsor meals and that sort of thing. So if you have a company that would like to sponsor a meal, if you have, like a Holy Child lacrosse team or the yearbook staff, or Holy Child wants to be like, hey, we're going to sponsor lunch, we'll, set you up so you can sponsor an individual lunch. Donations, we would love thank you notes and banners to nurses and doctors. And if you want to start it in your neighborhood, I mean, it's really simple. This started with one email from a friend late at night. So we have all the instructions on our website so that you can make sure things are tax deductible. Right. But most areas have community foundations who will let you funnel this money all through. So it's not sitting and say your Venmo account.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Anything else that we need to know about the organization? Like you said, it's feedthefight.org, and it's Feed the Fight DC on Instagram and Facebook. Right. And you're still accepting donations.
We really are. I mean, this looks like it's going to be kind of a long, fight. And we have 10,000 meals scheduled the next 2 weeks. So we really do need the contributions to keep this going. And this is very much a situation where if you have $5, that's great. It's, right. If you have $5,000, that's great too. But, right. These smaller amounts and do go a long way. So if a group of kids wanted to donate, we've had kids give their birthday money, instead, because they can't have birthday parties, they're saying, hey, instead of giving a present, donate, $3 to Feed the Fight or what have you. But really, if for the younger kids or people at Holy Child, if you could get cards and that sort of thing, I don't know, you can give them my contact information, drop them off at my house.
We'll figure out a way to do that, no problem.
Right. Absolutely. But everything's on feedthefight.org, and Feed the Fight DC is our Instagram handle, and please follow. I mean, Elena Tompkins, her son is actually, I'm going to embarrass her son, I'm sure, here in freshman at Gonzaga. Her kids are at St. Patrick's in DC with mine. It's one of these actions, not words. She just felt like, let's help. And it's just a group of friends really all pitched in and got this going. So it's amazing what just, I learned it at Holy Child. Just one idea and the help of your friends can really go a very long way to making a difference and making people really feel the gratitude and support in such a difficult time.
Absolutely. It's so important now. And it's so important to be grateful for what we have and to sort of pay it forward a little bit the best we can. Like
exactly.
It's $5 or a note. It makes the world a difference in these crazy times.
It really does. And the nurses and the doctors and everyone are really, really thankful for the support, just knowing people are out there really thinking about them, in addition to having like a good meal, which I've been told by some of my nurse friends goes a very long way.
I believe that. And I love that you said it's not just nurses and doctors, it's everybody on the front lines. We often reference nurses and doctors in terms of hospital front lines, but it's janitor staff. It's all
Yeah.
those who are cleaning hospital rooms and that
That's
kind of
right.
stuff. So that's so important. That's so beautiful.
And they're working really hard too, and definitely not getting, the credit they really deserve to
Absolutely.
keep things
So
rolling.
I do have one question, Joanna, from a viewer who says, what types of meals? Breakfast, lunch, dinner? Hi, Susie.
We're serving all three meals. So what we pretty much do is, for example, when I talk to, my cousin who works at a hospital center, I said, what do you need? Some people already have someone else bringing in meals, though there are pretty strict rules about what can come in and out depending on the hospital. But we are trying to spread it out so different units in each hospital get help. We're not just helping the ER. We're not just helping, ICU. And we're spreading it out so that some days they get dinner, some days they get lunch, they get breakfast, because that also helps a range of local restaurants. So it's not just, someone serving a full dinner. It's, everything. Someone got Rockland's barbecue and, bagels for breakfast. Yeah. So we're really trying to keep all sorts of businesses involved.
Yeah. And then you've talked a lot about delivery. Is that volunteer-based? Who steps in to do that?
In the beginning, it was very much volunteer-based. Bo Blair, who is the owner of like Millie's and Jetties, who actually is a Georgetown prep grad, he was loading up his car and delivering the meals. As things have gotten a little bit worse, we're trying to remove kind of questions and room for error. So we've been mostly having the restaurants deliver, also because their delivery people need to get paid. Right. So we're trying to keep as many people involved in the restaurant kind of business going. We want their, cooks in there. We want their delivery people involved. So they deliver, and it kind of depends on the hospital. Most of the time, the restaurant delivery people pull right up, and someone comes down and, I feel like a hazmat suit, picks up the bags and goes on in.
Unfortunately, yes, you're probably right. Well, do you have anything else that you need from us? I will definitely be sure to get the ball rolling on some cards, thank you cards, or just
cards, banners, really anything, and we are giving to police, rescues, the BCC Rescue Squad, fire departments. We've been doing Glen Echo, so cards, notes, banners, anything like that can get passed along easily. And then just donations. I mean, this is going to be a while. And we're really, especially since we've gotten more attention, it's Elena Tompkins and Sarah Canova were on the CBS Evening News, and they were on Fox News.
And you guys were featured in People magazine.
That's right.
Lots going on.
So a lot of hospitals really are reaching out now. And a lot of restaurants want to be involved for a million, both it's helpful and they need a business. So we do need, frankly, some money.
It happens.
So donations, big and small, are welcome. But people are free to reach out to me if they have any questions, and I can point them in the right direction. And our website and Instagram have most of the info. So it's Feed the Fight DC and feedthefight.org.
Awesome. Well, I am so thankful that you joined us today on this Actions Not Words Day. I just want to remind everybody that if you have anybody else who is living out actions, not words, like Joanna is, to share their story with us using the hashtag ANWDay20. And Joanna, thank you so much for all that you've done.
Thank you for having me.
For all that you continue to do. We're so grateful for you, and keep us posted. And
I will. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.
Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Ogechi Calaberry. I am the Christian Service Coordinator at Holy Child, and today I have the honor of getting to interview an alum from Holy Child. Her name is Catherine Altimus. She's a graduate of 2016 at Holy Child, and she's just joining us right now. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Hi. Good. It's so nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too. And so everybody that is on this live, they may or may not know who you are. We are featuring you for our Actions Not Words Day. So if you could just give a brief bio of who you are, and talk about how you turned a disappointing time in your life, especially in your last year at university and how you changed that into having a positive impact.
Okay, yeah. So, like she said, I graduated from Holy Child in 2016. I am a fourth year at the University of Virginia, and I'm going to graduate in May. In the same week that they canceled the rest of the spring semester and my graduation, they also canceled the Charlottesville Marathon, which I had been training for since like November. It's like one of my favorite things to do is run. So at first I was super bummed and I was complaining to anyone who would listen about how my marathon was canceled on my graduation. And then I decided that I would just kind of make lemonade out of lemons. And so I decided to run the marathon by myself. And during this devastating time, I figured who better to help than the people who are vulnerable because of coronavirus. So when I heard that Save the Children and No Kid Hungry had already joined forces to help the millions of children who were put out of school and as a result didn't have access to books or meals, I decided that would be perfect. So I fundraised for about 3 weeks and then I ran it on a windy Friday, April 10th, I believe it was. And I finished in my driveway and ended up raising over $1,200, I think it was, that went directly to Save a Story. So providing meals and books to students who were out of school.
That's so amazing. I was going to ask, what was the total amount? $1,200 is a lot of money,
Yeah.
especially on an individual level. So, what inspired you to reach out to those organizations? How did you hear about those organizations?
So Save a Stories is actually all over Instagram and Facebook. The organization is basically what they put out on Instagram and Facebook is different celebrities. They'll read their favorite storybooks and put them, they'll read them and then they'll put them up on Instagram and Facebook. So I'd already been seeing them. And then when I looked more into it, I realized that would be perfect.
That's awesome. So many of us are on social media, and there's so much good on social media. So it's great that you were able to see something that was doing good and use your own personal influence to impact those organizations. As the Christian Service Coordinator, I have a passion for connecting students to a level of service. And so I did want to ask you a couple of questions about that. And guys that are watching, if you have questions, there is a question box and that you can comment and leave questions, and we'll try to answer those questions for you during this live. How did you have that passion for service? Were you involved currently or in the past in university or even at Holy Child?
Yeah, so it definitely started at Holy Child. Best Buddies was the first club that I joined at Holy Child. All my girlfriends did too. Basically, the whole school was in it. So that definitely lit the spark that would become my passion for service over the years. And right when I got to both colleges that I've attended, I got into Best Buddies, and so that was awesome. And then I also was in the foundations class when I was a senior at Holy Child, and that focused on campus ministry and then community service. So I was definitely super into that. And then as I got older and in college, I got really into running, and I decided when I did my first marathon that I would raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And that just gave me an awesome feeling, and I loved that I could use my passion for running to help others. So I ended up doing that again, and then this time around I picked a different charity and it felt just as good, and I was able to make just as big of an impact. So yeah, it was definitely the seed that was planted at Holy Child.
That is so great to hear. Definitely that passion for service that starts at a young age does not have to stop in high school or with the service requirement. She's an example of how that can continue on into your adult life. In terms of connecting people in your network to get involved with you, obviously they couldn't run with you, but they can contribute a monetary donation. You've had that past experience with your previous run. Did you have a better opportunity because people were so interested in giving, or was it the same challenge?
No, definitely this time it's been amazing to see people are really ready to jump in and help, and I think that people are struggling to know how to help. So when it came to my friends and family, having someone close to them trying to make an impact, they could really like firsthand donate money, and it could go to something good. Everyone really jumped right in. It was awesome.
That's so great. Um, do you have any tips for people that, especially seniors, on how they continue their passion for service in their community when they go into college?
Yeah, I think definitely. I would say join every group that sounds cool to you and kind of like go do the first event, join the first group, and you'll really get a feel for where your heart kind of is and what makes you feel the best. And stick with that and go for it. And don't be afraid to sign up for or try to run for like leadership positions. All of you can do it. I would definitely just say go for it.
And how would you imagine in obviously we can't predict the future and this time has taught us that, but how do you think that you can implement actions, not words, as a postgraduate?
So yeah, I love actions, not words, and it's one of those things that I'll think about all the time. But it really is true. Actions speak louder than words. They are really what can make a change. So you can kind of say something all you want, but it's when you act on it that it will make a difference. So I would say just kind of do what you can for other people. Always be thinking of other people. Like I said, join the service groups. That's where you make your best friends in college and beyond. Um, yeah.
And have you and your family members been involved in service together as a family or even in your neighborhood?
Um, Definitely. Me and my mom, when I was actually at Holy Child, and I was introduced to this by someone at Holy Child too, I did a service trip to Haiti. And so what that looked like for my family is beforehand, we did a khaki drive at Mater Day School, which is where my brothers went. And then we did a shoe drive at Holy Child for all the girls' extra shoes and took them to the individuals in Montrose, Haiti. And I was with my mom. And year after year, we did the same khaki drive and shoe drive.
That is so awesome. I love to hear those stories of service. Well, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. You have some shout outs in the comments. Most of the comments are praise for you for being such a great example of service and living out actions, not words. I think the takeaway from this is that many of us have had plans and hopes that have been canceled or postponed, and it is disappointing. But like you said, you turn those lemons into lemonade, and that's an opportunity for us to always change our perspective and think about those even um, outside of our margins and really reach out to those the way that we can. So I thank you so much for taking your time out of your day and talking with us. And
Thank
if you
you.
have any questions, you can always just send us a DM and we will be glad to try to answer them. And stay tuned for the next live that will be taking place at 3 p.m. Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Hi, Charlotte. Just gonna wait for more people to join. Let's see. Hi. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm Gladys Bermudez, class of 2020, and today I'm going to be talking to Jaden in the class of 2021 about the amazing things she has been doing via her nonprofit organization, Little Things Big Impact. So let's add her. Hi.
Hi, Gladys.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Okay, so this is Jaden, guys. For those of you who don't know her, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows you. You're like amazing. So, first off, I want to ask you, like, how are you doing with the quarantine and, school from home?
I'm very fortunate, like during this quarantine, especially because my family hasn't struggled
Yeah.
as many families have during this time. But
Mm-hmm.
also, online school isn't bad at all. I feel like we've had a great transition, especially how the admin is handling it at Holy Child and
Yeah.
just how supportive our community is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, we all are very fortunate, and I think
Yeah.
that thanks to God and everything that, we're all lucky that we get to be in our homes and, have
Yeah.
a roof over our heads and food. So, first off, I wanted to ask you, how did you start Little Things Big Impact, and like what inspired you to like create?
So I actually started Little Things Big Impact in 2016. My mom, like, she realized that as a kid, I was kind of shy about putting myself out there because I didn't understand like how kids at our age could be such big impact, have such a big impact on the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So she helped me start Little Things Big Impact, and one of my older sisters, helped me create a website, and we started off just baking cakes for people in shelters, especially kids, for their birthdays. And I started my first drive in 8th grade at my middle school, which was a men's shelter drive for like all like the supplies that they would need for just washing and the simple things in life. So that's just how I got started.
Amazing. Wow. Well, where do you see Little Things Big Impact in going in the future? Like, what are your hopes for it?
So I hope that the biggest goal for Little Things Big Impact in general is just to inspire kids around the world, especially my age and younger kids, to just get involved in the community. And I just want to be able to keep myself accountable, hold myself accountable, make sure I'm giving back to people that need it and people that have given back to me, especially as kids, which is why I feel like elderly people are the biggest people to give back to. And basically just to inspire everyone to help out in their communities as much as they can.
And I think you're doing that. Like, I saw your Instagram, and you have one, like, it's amazing what you're doing. And it's such, it's like crazy. So, would you like to like explain a little bit about what you've been doing like during this time during quarantine? I know you've been going to like retirement or like, helping out with the elderly in the retirement homes and the food boxes with your church. So,
yes. So the first thing that we started, my mom works at Lowell School, which is a school that like Holy Child uses a lot of technology. So she and one of her coworkers felt like they could donate iPads to people in elderly homes and nursing homes and assisted living facilities and retirement homes, because they don't have some of them don't have the resources they need to communicate with their families at this time. So she asked me one day to just go ahead and call some places to see who like needed help and who could use resources. And I called, and a lot of places needed it, and I just felt like it was something that I didn't realize that this was something that people needed, and I felt like that I could be a help with that. And she's just let me help a lot with it. And I don't know, it was mostly her idea, but I've been able to share and communicate with you guys the entire idea and just putting it out there and emailing it to other schools in our area as well.
And it's amazing because like we can see that you're doing that and you actually are living like with actions and not words. And like I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful that like your community and you're like taking the stand, using like social media, your platform and everything to be able to spread and inspire others, because you do that to me and I bet to everyone. So
my older sister.
I
was just gonna explain the boxes, the food boxes. My older sister, she we both go to the same church, of course, but she's a part of an email group that says like what they're doing in the community to help out. And she reached out to me, and she was just saying like I'm going to do this service project to hand out boxes with food items in it to families that need it. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll come. And one morning we just went, and she had gone the other week, but we're gonna see if they have any other times to go. I know they have one more next week, so we're gonna do that too.
Well, speaking about that, I was going to ask you, like, how would you encourage others, like, in the Holy Child community to, like, get involved in their communities, or, like, to help out with your organization, or anything like donations, or anything they could do to help?
Well, for mine specifically, if you just go in my, if you just DM me or email me at littlethingsbigimpact@gmail.com, or go on my website, I have a blog on my website. It's named the same thing, Little Things Big Impact, and you can email me from there too, or just reach out to me personally if you know me from Holy Child. That's one way to help out, and just let me know if you have any donations or if you have anything that could help us. But also, I feel like as for me, it's just reaching out to our community. So if you have a church that you're in, or if you have people that you know that do community service, you can ask them how they're helping at this time, and maybe you can join in and do that, because that's how I got started with bringing the boxes to people who don't have food at home right now. So it's just more so just reaching out and putting yourself out there to be accessible and to help others access different things at this time.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I just wanted to leave it open for anyone to see if they had questions for you about what you're doing and, you know, your organization or your nonprofit organization. See if anyone had any questions. So we'll just 2 minutes, but I don't know if anyone will have anything. So let's see. I see a lot of just like join people join. Let's give it a little bit. But I'm glad that you're doing good. I mean, you're doing amazing. Like, this is amazing.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm just, you know, really wish we went back to school so that we could like prom and like graduation. But
I hope you guys get your graduation. That's really sucks.
Yeah.
I really hope you guys get your graduation.
I know that like with prayer and like with God, you know, everything will work out. So I'm not really seeing any comments. So again, thank you for everything that you're doing. Like truly, like it's amazing what you're doing, and you're really showing us how you're living through actions, not words, not just words. So yeah, thank you for joining me and sharing your story and everything.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Okay, so now I'm gonna add, I want to welcome or introduce Charlotte in the class of 2021 as well, because she's also been doing a lot during this time at home. So let's see. Oh, I was trying to post it.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Here, interviewing people. Okay, so do you want to just introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Yeah. I'm Charlotte Nordberg, class of 2021, like you said. And yeah, life's been a little crazy right now with quarantine and everything, but I'm excited.
So I've been hearing that you've been doing a lot from home and a lot of amazing things during this quarantine. And you know, I just wanted to ask you a few questions if you didn't mind. How have you maintained like a positive attitude and outlook during this quarantine?
Yeah, so I definitely think like connecting with old friends and like trying to contact people you like hadn't seen in a while was really helpful for me. I know one of the things I did was I reached out to an old exchange program I was in that I did in 8th grade, and I went to Ireland. I just wanted to see how everyone was doing and what they like, how they were experiencing it. That was kind of different than like my experience, so that really helped. And also just like connecting with all my classmates and calling them and checking up on them.
I think that's really important to like the people that we're all like home with our families and kind of we just want to go out to, you know, be with our friends. So so how has your community shown support during this?
Well, my neighborhood's been like really come together. We have a little like library box where we used to put books in them, but we decided to, if we make homemade masks, we can put them in there for anyone who needs them. So I've made a few of those. And we've also done like the bear walk. I don't know if and your neighborhood's done that, where you put like a little teddy bear in your window for little kids. Yeah, so we did that too, and it's been cute. Like I've walked around and seen other people's teddy bears and stuff.
That's so cute. That's amazing. So I wanted to ask you if you could share a little bit about what sharing.
Yeah, so my homeroom advisor, Miss Alcaberry, introduced me to that, and I thought it was really interesting because I love doing little art projects like that. So I found quotes that I really liked, and I made them into like little drawings and sent them to her that she could send on to anyone who was alone or like elderly people who couldn't contact anyone. They could get those little messages.
That's so sweet. I mean, that's like, I love just getting a small little text from someone, like, you know, hope you're having a great, like, and I've seen them really happy, and like, especially during the time, because you know, it's hard for them, especially if they have to be alone, and you know, it's hard to see the family. That's really, and I just want to ask, like, you know, because so you're making masks and you're putting them in the little boxes or whatever it's called. And I want to know, like, how do you make them? Like, you like the rest of the Holy Child community how to make these masks so that
yeah, well, we were making them a lot before our sewing machine broke, but we looked up a video online and it's like a little 5-minute thing. And we use like old t-shirts and pillowcases and you just cut them out. It's pretty easy. You just cut out like a little square and then sew it together with a strap. And we kind of got creative because we didn't have that much materials around. So we found like some old like rubber bands and stuff that we cut up to make into little straps. So
you and Jaden are like, wow, like so grateful that you guys are a part of this community. Again, you guys are doing like wonderful things, and you guys inspire me, and I bet the rest of the Holy Child community to like go there, take part, you know.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for living through actions and not just words, and for joining and you know what I'm doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Okay, so thank you all for joining us today during Actions Not Words Day.